Part 3, where the writers try to claim the Protestant Reformation as the cause of the scientific revolution. This section is called Back to the Bible. Why did modern science since the 16th century, begin so suddenly in the 1500s? Just a quick note. Just like the Cambrian explosion, it's not like there was no science one day, then bam, there were new discoveries all over the place. The scientific revolution is like the culmination of thought changes that were slowly occurring during the medieval period. The scientific revolution is usually marked at 1543, when Copernicus published his book on the revolutions of the heavenly bodies. Okay, back to the book. The main reason for the increased development of science was the return to the Bible sparked by the Protestant Reformation, which began in 1517. The return to the authority of the Scriptures, which was the hallmark of the Protestant movement, gave people an interest in learning about the natural world which the God of the Scriptures had created. Regarding the Protestant Reformation, the only way that I could see that these two could be causally linked would be that as the Church fractured, it lost some of its power, infallibility, and control. This change could have allowed new ideas to surface against traditionally held religious views without or mitigated fear of punishment from the Church. Personally, I agree with Dr. Arun Bala, a scientific historian, that as the medieval period came to a close, there was a greater influence of other countries, like mathematical realism from Muslim countries, mechanical technologies from China, and atomism from India. These exchanges led to new ideas and thought processes, which in turn triggered both the scientific revolution and the Protestant Reformation. It wasn't one causing the other, it was a third option causing both. The following phrase makes me wonder if the writers knew exactly what period they were writing about. People turned away from the superstitions of pagans and gained an understanding about creation from the Creator. Just who were these superstitious pagans? Oh, that's right, they were Bible-believing Christians, who lived their lives devoted to serving the God of the Bible, the same people who built the giant cathedrals to make them feel small in the presence of the Lord. I'd bet that the medieval Christians, those superstitious pagans, had a greater faith in God than most Christians today. The rest of the paragraph goes on to talk about how the Bible is scientifically accurate, with this closing zinger. Whenever it speaks of scientific matters, it speaks truly and accurately. They just forgot the footnote that explains which scientific statements and interpreted in what way. For example, we have two verses said in a prayer to God. The first, Job 26:7, He hangs the earth on nothing. And the second, 1 Samuel 2:8, For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and He has set the world upon them. Both are speaking scientifically, but both cannot be right. The earth is either hanging on nothing, or it's resting on pillars. Which is it? Many items of modern discovery were written in the Scripture thousands of years ago. God tells us in His Word of the heavenly bodies and about climate and weather. He speaks of the atomic nature of matter and the power of Christ that holds matter together. He reveals truths about chemical and biochemical processes, the ocean with all its mystery, the earth's structure, plants and animals, the composition and characteristics of the human body, and the existence and prevention of disease. Through the nation of Israel, God chose to give a number of scientific truths to man in Scripture. I don't doubt for a minute that there is some scientifically accurate information in the Bible. But that list, things like atomic nature, chemical and biochemical processes, and disease, sounds pretty impressive. But when you actually read the verses that are supposed to back these claims up, they come up painfully short of even wishful thinking. For example, on the next page, there's a list of scientific facts in the Bible that took science thousands of years to verify. I'm going to go over just a few of them. Ocean currents flow through the sea, Psalm 8:8. The birds of the air and the fish of the sea that pass through the paths of the seas. Sounds more like humanizing fish than divine knowledge of ocean currents. Blood sustains life, Leviticus 17:11. I've already gone over this one in the intro, but when you read the context, we see they're actually talking about sacrifices and atonement, not the actual circulatory system. Stars produce sound. This one is kind of funny in two regards. First off, stars do not produce sound. Sound is a wave of pressure traveling through a medium, like air or metal. This is not possible in space, since space is a void. The sounds of stars, as we know them, are actually radio pulses that we convert into sound frequencies, much like infrared light is converted to visible light. And second, here's the verse that's supposed to support it. Job 38:7. When the morning stars sang together, all the sons of God shouted for joy. Are you kidding me? When the morning stars sang together means stars produce sound? Stars are incredibly distant from the earth, according to Job 22:12, and see the highest stars, how lofty they are. Yep, you heard right. Lofty means millions and millions of light years. Furthermore, science wasn't even aware that stars were incredibly distant until the late 1800s.